hearties, yo-ho. We kidnap and ravage and don't give a hoot. Drink up, me hearties, yo-ho. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a pirate's life for me. We extort, we pilfer, we pilch and sack. Drink up, me hearties, yo-ho. Maraud and embezzle and even hijack. Drink up, me hearties, yo-ho.
Yo-ho, who's that? Oh, ahoy there. And what be yer doing in these parts? Be it salty old pirates and treasure that ye be seeking, you've dropped your hook in the right harbor.
Hello, passengers, and welcome to our next attraction detour. I am Kris Banas, your host for today, and I am joined by my three favorite co-hosts, Holly, George, and Jungle Skipper Jay. Holly, let's start with you. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. George, I hope the homestead is all well and good over your way.
Yes, everyone's doing well. Just going through one day at a time.
Good. Yeah, well, what else can we do, right?
Yep.
And Jay, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I mean, I definitely feel like Superman in the Fortress of Solitude out here.
Yes, we are for sure the masters of our own castles right now, aren't we? Oh, so passengers, today our focus is on another classic attraction like Haunted Mansion and Space Mountain that we discussed over the last couple episodes, and their variations around the globe. And our focus for today is Pirates of the Caribbean. So let's take a look back in time to when swashbuckling pirates sailed the seven seas. Let me just start off by saying that September 19th every year is my favorite day in September. Why? Because it's Talk Like a Pirate Day. Okay.
I did not know that.
Can we spend the rest of the episode talking like pirates?
I wish I could. I wish I could last the whole 25 minutes doing that. But enough of the theatrics, because I can't do that for all this time. So, Holly, let's start with you. What do you think is the major appeal for this attraction?
Well, what isn't? I mean, the smell of it, once again, we're going back to, I guess I just love the smell of chlorine. I don't know. So you just walk in and, you know, Disney is so great about taking you out of our mundane lives and putting you in an adventure. So that's what this is. It's taking you out of your day-to-day routine and putting you into a fun, right in the middle of it, where the pirates are fighting or they're laughing or they're drinking. The music, it's so catchy. It's just fun and takes you out of your day-to-day boring life.
Yep, it certainly does. George, how about you? What are your thoughts on this attraction?
I would have to agree with Holly, but kind of going a little further. It's something, especially opening up the original in 1967, it was something that no one really experienced before. You know, right. I mean, it was supposed to open up as a like a wax museum type of thing, and then when they decided to add a ride vehicle through it, it was something that you know, it's classic Disney. It screams Walt. I mean, even though he passed 3 months before it opened, but I mean, he still had influence on that attraction. And, you know, even though despite, you know, it was updated so many times, like from the pirate movies and everything, it still has that classic Disney feel.
Yeah. So for me, I think the fact that Walt had such a huge influence on this entire attraction during development, and the artwork from Mark Davis I mean, it's everywhere, you know, when they got it into a working attraction. His influence is crazy. And like George said, this attraction did not open for 3 months after Walt had passed. So just that the sentimentality of that alone to me makes it extremely special. Jay, how about you? I mean, I know you were a former cast member, so you have a lot of different thoughts about that particular attraction too, I'm sure.
Well, I think it's part of our collective conscious as a society. There was nothing like it before. It was the very first of its kind.
Right.
In addition to being the very last thing Walt did, it blew people's minds when it came out, that when Disney World opened 4 years later, people were complaining and writing letters because the pirates weren't there.
Right, right. I mean, could you imagine walking into Disney World for the first time and you were expecting to see that there?
Yeah.
Right. It was people were actually angry, and they wrote letters and they called California and they asked the same question: where are the pirates?
Where is it? Where is it? Arr, I'd be really angry.
Is it sad to say, though, that, I mean, I am happy that Walt Disney World got it, but after experiencing it at Disneyland, that if there was a time here and there that I would bypass it in Walt Disney World, I really wouldn't be too sad about it. And it's only because after experiencing Disneyland, it feels like an incomplete attraction.
Mm-hmm.
You know, George, I have to ride the Haunted Mansion and Small World every time I visit Magic Kingdom, but I don't have to with Pirates for what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know.
So, so let's talk about some facts and figures with the different Pirates attractions around the world. First of all, there is definitely a difference in time length in these different locations. Like Disneyland, of course, is the longest, and that checks out at 15 minutes and 30 seconds. That blows my mind because I'm so used to the one at Disney World. When I went on the one in Disneyland for the first time, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it's like almost double in length.
Almost exactly double.
Okay, can I just ask you really quick, what was that like experiencing that for the first time?
Well, because I went to Disney World first, and then I didn't go to Disneyland for 2 years later. And I was like, I think my mouth was probably hanging open the entire time because I loved the experience at Walt Disney World. I mean, it is my favorite attraction there because it was my very first attraction that I went on at that park.
And the same for me, actually, as well, because I think if I went on Disneyland's first and then Walt Disney World's,
it would be
I
a
probably
letdown.
would have an even lesser appreciation for Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
But because it was easier for me to go to Disney World first.
Right.
But then when I experienced Disneyland, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, here's another new scene. How long is this thing?
Yeah, so Disney World is actually at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Tokyo is 9 minutes and 30 seconds. And Disneyland Paris is 10 minutes and 30 seconds. So those three are fairly close in length. Variations of them, though, are very different from what I understand to the European ones versus over here. So, Holly, what would you say would be your thought on which one you would want to go to around the world versus over here?
Oh my goodness. I am so not good with the one. I'm so focused on the ones here. The one that so interactive where you're in it. Is that Tokyo?
Are you talking about the one in Shanghai? The battle?
Oh yes, Shanghai. That's it.
Shanghai.
I'm so bad.
Yeah.
I'm so bad. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that one, oh my goodness, looks fantastic. But once again, that's for me, it looks amazing, but it's not Pirates to me. Disneyland is Pirates. That's the OG one. And so the Shanghai one looks fantastic, but it would be a completely different experience. I wouldn't compare that and say it's Pirates of the Caribbean, you know?
Yeah. How about you, George? Which one would you want to go on?
Yeah, definitely the one in Shanghai. I would want to experience it just because it is a different format. of the Pirates franchise. I can't really say it's a rendition of the same attraction. It's a completely different type of attraction. But just I would love to experience like the new technological aspects of that.
For sure.
Totally.
But,
I mean, I would love to see all of them just so I can,
but
wear them all.
But going off what Holly said, my all-time favorite, I would enjoy Shanghai's, but Disneyland Pirates is for me.
Yeah. And how about you, Jay?
I have done the one in Paris, and it is spectacular.
Yeah.
Don't laugh. My life's goal, one of them, is to actually go to all the Disneylands across the globe. So next on my list is Tokyo to cross off.
Okay. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in like history of Disneyland as well as Disney World. So Jay, what kind of inside information do you have about
Well, if you ever rode Pirates and it rained lemon drops on you, I'm sorry.
Okay. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
A lot younger back in the day, we used to run through the catwalks of Pirates and drop lemon drops on guests.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I'm really loving these detours because we get to learn so much about naughty stuff that Jay did.
Jay,
like
that
was
you?
That was me.
Well, this is what I want to know now. Are we going to have to do a hashtag Jay ruined my trip like George and the others?
Right.
A harmless little candy is not going to ruin your trip like, oh, go ride that thing you don't want to ride.
And so that goes into George. Do you have any experiences at Pirates where you had a negative effect on someone's experience?
You just couldn't wait to ask that question, could you?
I have been waiting all day to ask that question.
I'm going to make that hashtag George ruined my trip a thing.
Well, okay, I guess if you really want to know, okay, here we go.
Here we go. My.
This was not like the first time that I've been. She's already laughing. I can't even get it. This was during my 21st Disney birthday bash. A lot happened during my birthday.
Yeah,
the one where you turn legal to drink?
So I got in line for Pirates. It was only about, I'd say, like a 15-20 minute ride. And waited in the queue, everything, got on the ride. And I purposely had myself sit on the end part of the boat.
Okay.
Because I knew that after the fact you do the drop and you go into the open water with the pirate ship with Barbossa and everything. And where they're shooting off the cannons, they have like the effect where water is splashing up. And there are times where people do get wet. And I timed myself to synchronize with the effect of the water coming up. So while I'm sitting at the end part of the boat, right as the effect popped up, I swung my hand up into the water, into the boat, and I didn't realize how much I did, but I completely soaked this guy's lap in front of me. And I just kind of just sat there.
George ruined my trip.
Yeah, here we go again.
And I just sat there quietly, and I thought, oh, I am so gonna get in trouble for this. I am busted. And the guy, I don't know if he said, wow, that was a big effect this time. I don't remember getting that.
Was it the Disney World Pirates?
It was Disney World.
Well, you expect to get wet on Disney Worlds.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, I literally soaked his lap like how Disneyland's Splash Mountain is when you're in the front, and it completely drenches you from coming from the side. I literally soaked him.
I wonder, I know that there's other attraction detours that we're going to do. I just can't wait.
Yeah, Jay always does something naughty. And
Adventures of
George
George.
always does
I'm
something
not
sneaky.
naughty. I'm just shenanigans.
Oh my gosh.
I missed the
Oh,
last one, so I didn't hear.
yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh, trust
you
me, I
did
got,
on
I
that
got, I got
one.
plenty more. So,
Oh.
All right, that's the thing when you live the Disney lifestyle.
Right?
Oh.
I'll tell
Yeah,
you guys
it's
one
funny.
real quick funny story. When I
Yes.
was doing my management training, they send you around, you do different stuff, even if it's not your department. And I was doing a Pirates of the Day that one of the boats stopped before it went down the hill.
Uh-huh.
You have to put on these like huge galoshes that go up to your waist. And so I'm really glad there's no video of me like walking like a penguin through the pirate water to kick the boat down. Because that's how you get the boats down. You get over there and you kick them down and hope you don't
Oh
tumble
my
down the
God.
hill.
Oh my
Holy
goodness.
cow.
Yeah.
Well, I had no idea.
Yeah, me neither. Crazy.
So, is there any stories like from Disneyland, Jay, that are things that like went wrong? when you were there?
Not when I was there. When it had first opened, though, the fire department shut it down because they thought the flames in the burning city were too real.
Oh,
They looked too realistic, so they shut it down because they thought it was on fire.
my
And
God.
later on, it did catch fire.
Oh.
And Alice Davis, who did the costumes,
Uh-huh.
when she was doing them, she wanted to make 2 of each costume just in
Right.
case something
I
happened.
remember that story.
Yeah, the bean counters said no, so she just did it anyway.
She did it anyway.
So when the ride caught fire, they asked, how long to whip these up to get it back up and running? She went, oh, these ones I have right here.
So, as George mentioned earlier, the Disneyland attraction was originally supposed to be a walkthrough wax museum. Holly, you got to be glad that did not come to pass.
Yeah, what a snooze fest that would have been. Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
just like the original Haunted Mansion thing was supposed to be a walkthrough,
Yeah.
and that would have been Snore City too. So,
Mhm.
thank goodness that a lot of things did not work out as originally intended.
Right.
I think as modern Disney fans, we can like knock on wood and say thank God for the '64 World's Fair. Or
Yeah.
it would be
Yeah.
totally different.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Can you? I can't even imagine. I mean, I would think later on that they would have to say, "Hey, this is not working." But yeah, it's a good thing that it never came to pass.
Because George would have found a way to ruin someone's trip through walkthrough.
He would have tripped somebody, knocked over a wax figure.
He would have
Pretended to
climbed,
be a wax
let's say he would have
figure,
climbed in, put on the
Tried to
costume,
get
and
a
jumped out of people.
that's exactly probably I would have done. I probably would have stood there like
Yes.
a wax figure and then
Not probably. You would.
yeah.
And if you guys could see George's bushy beard, I mean, he would fit right in.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now he sure would. So, so like the music, well, maybe not totally like the music from Small World that is totally, an earworm for people who really can't tolerate it.
I love
That
Small
great
World.
music, but there are people who don't. The Sherman Brothers, of course, wrote the music for that, but the music for Pirates was written by George Bruns and the magnificent Ex Atencio. I mean, that is music that will go down in history as far as I'm concerned, because it's awesome. Who cannot like the Pirates song?
I
Yeah,
will fully
exactly.
confess I have the current vinyl release, which is the full attraction right there on one side and then score on the other. I do light my pirate candle water and play my record at the same time.
Yeah,
Well,
We wouldn't expect anything less from you.
that's right. That's
I think-
right.
and I think alongside with the Haunted Mansion, for me anyways, and as I would think any diehard Disney fan, when I think of Pirates and the Haunted Mansion, the first thing that comes to my mind is the music, is the songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you guys have any personal, besides George ruining someone's trip, you have any
Or lemon drops.
stories about your experiences as you experience the attraction? How about you, Holly?
I wish I had something fun like lemon drops or soaking somebody, but the thing that comes to mind is when my oldest son turned around 3 years old and he was finally not like terrified of the ride anymore. Every time we got to the battle scene with the ship, just like you're saying with the water, the cannons, it was just so cute. Every time he'd make the little sounds, and now we cannot go through that section of the ride without like in our heads are saying it out loud. It's so ridiculous because he did this every single time for like a year until he outgrew that little pew stage. But it was just the cutest thing. And we're like, do you remember that? And he's like, what are you talking about?
Of course, they don't remember that.
Yeah, it was so cute because he'd be out there like in the middle of the battle with them making the sound effects.
Yeah. So George, barring any, ruining of trips, what's any special memories of going on Pirates for you?
Let's see. For me, I think because I've been on Walt Disney World so many times, it's just like a normal routine for me when I go down there. Yeah. But I think Disneyland's was extra special because that was something that I didn't know really what to expect. I didn't really pay too much attention to the attraction because with it being my first time there, I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be like Florida's. And it just has, it almost has like a completely different style feel, even with the story.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Just by cutting those few scenes out, it takes away majority of the story for me. For Walt Disney World. So, I mean, I think my very first time going on Disneyland's Pirates when I was 21, that was a very good feeling without, nothing really going on. However, after the fact, I did go on it the first time at Disneyland and I went back to Disneyland I was ready to go in to the entrance and a family of, I kid you not, 15 where they're wearing like all their matching shirts and they didn't know they heard of Pirates, but they really didn't know what it was. And I told them, it's like a carnival style haunted house, but with pirates. So I got them the shoe and I ended up getting it without having to wait behind them. So
another one. George ruined my trip. Email Grand Circle Tour Podcast. Attention, George.
All complaint emails go to whatever your name is at McDuck Industries.
McDuck Industries.
Yes. So my personal story is, of course, very dear to my heart because it involves my children too, like Holly's. The very first time that I took my boys to Walt Disney World was 1994. My youngest does not remember it at all because he was just going on 2. But the older one is almost just about 3 years older, shy of like a month and a half. And he remembers everything about that trip. And we went on that and he absolutely loved it. And he started calling it our ride. Aww. I talked about this during our first show that we were ever on when we were talking about different experiences at Disney. And then the younger one started saying the same thing when he was old enough. So the next time we went and they both said, "Oh, Mommy, we're on our ride." And people in the boat with us were cracking up because they thought
that's cute.
It is. So I always think of that every time I go on. So for me, it's always the first and the last attraction I go on when I go to Magic Kingdom. So how about you, Jay?
Mine isn't any one specific thing, and this happens to me. It happens on Pirates more than any other ride, but when I'm at Disney and I'm on Pirates, there's kind of a moment where I just kind of soak it all up and go, yeah, being at Disney really makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
I love being here.
Yes. Yeah. So passengers, leave us some comments about your experiences or your special things that you think about when you go on Pirates, or your anticipation of going on. So with that, we are pulling into the docking area, and it's time for us to get off of our pirate ship. Oh, but just remember, Talk Like a Pirate Day is coming up September 19th, so you can have some fun with that too. So with that, take it away, Ken.
If you would like to keep the adventure going after the show, be sure to like our Facebook friends page, Grand Circle Tour Magical Ticket Holders. While on Facebook, like our group page, Grand Circle Tour. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Grand Circle Tour Podcast, as well as Instagram, GCT Podcast, and our YouTube channel, Grand Circle Tour. If you would like to send us a message, you can email us at gctpodcast@gmail.com. T-shirts and other fun merchandise can be found at tpublic.com. Simply search Grand Circle Tour Podcast. If you enjoyed your adventure, leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Only one rule, make it good. Thank you for riding with us, and welcome home.
Now there's new fun and excitement waiting for you at Disneyland. The opening of a Magic Kingdom's most exciting new attraction, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yo-ho, a pirate's life for me.
Enjoy a rollicking adventure with the boldest crew of swashbucklers ever to terrify the Spanish Main. Bloodthirsty cutthroats attack a sleepy town.
Yo-ho, a pirate's life for me.
You're in the thick of the action as these three-dimensional pirates dunk the town's magistrate, auction its fair maidens, and set the whole village ablaze.
Yo-ho, a pirate's life for me.
Join the fun and excitement of Disneyland's newest and greatest attraction, an entirely new kind of family entertainment. Pirates of the Caribbean, an audio animatronic experience you'll never forget. See it now at Disneyland. Pirates of the Caribbean.